Guru Kripa Kevala. Namaste and welcome everyone to Satsang today. Sadguru Sri Muji Baba Ki Jai. What a dilemma to have. What a dilemma to have, which is, what should I consider you? Saguna or Nirguna? Saguna is with qualities, with attributes, with size, shape, time, duration. Nirguna is without any quality. So, what should I refer to you as? What should I believe you to be? Saguna or Nirguna? Saying that either Saguna or Nirguna, one Govind, one Krishna, one Lord. The name is not important. The one reality is what is important. Now, there are two ways in which we can approach a pointing like this by a sage. First way is to say, which is also okay, it's all right. But the first way is to say, how beautiful. It must be that in reality the Lord is one, the unmanifest and the manifest. So nice. See? And there's a sage who has come to the discovery and shared that with us. We're so grateful to him. Thank you. See, that's the first approach. So we take that into a construct of our belief system and say reality is both unmanifest and manifest. That's the first approach, and that is the usual approach. What I want to suggest to all of you is that use these as pointers to give you direction right here, right now. It's as if you were visiting a friend's house and you lost your way somewhere. And you stopped on the way and said, Sir, madam, can you please help me get to this address? And you met the sage who is pointing you to where you want to go. So treat all of these as immediate pointers. Even what you hear in satsang, when you read from scripture, and when you hear a bhajan like this, these are immediate pointers for us to follow, not just to enjoy poetically, which is also very beautiful. But the primary is the first use, which is to say, how does it help my self-recognition right here, right now? So if reality is both the unmanifest and the manifest, and it is always here, subtle and gross, everything, the sages pointed to all opposites and said, you are the one reality, my Lord. So if the truth is this one reality, where can it be right now? Why must we be the second-hand consumers of this Lord and enjoy the byproduct beauty instead of meeting what the sage is saying? Gyanadev, most likely. So the sage Gyanadev, very beautiful sage, has shared this with us. See? So is he sharing because he just wants you to hear it, and it's been heard now for hundreds of years, and for you to hear it and say, wow, Gyanadev must have really come to such great self-discovery, and we are so lucky that we can hear about his discovery for him. Or isn't it time for us to say, what is it? Why can't I see exactly what he is speaking of? So let's find that one reality right here, right now, before we get distracted with other things. Sages said, Saguna and Nirguna, the manifest and the unmanifest, you are the one Lord. So where is that one? I will introduce that one to you, even if you feel like it is missing. What is the way to introduce that? Just find a way, use whatever pointer which helps you the most to not be concerned about what your mind is saying. So I could say, open and empty, don't believe your next thought, don't identify, let go, whatever works. Whatever works. Allow everything to come and go. Yes. Don't think about whether you've come to that point. Nothing. Just now. You don't even need a point. Just naturally. Now notice if only the manifest is there. Is only the manifest here? That means are only perceptions here? So that which is not a perception, that which is not a perception, because we mostly in our lives speak of perceptions. Let's for a moment look at that which is not a perception. So that which is not a perception, what can we say about that? What can be said about it? Now, is that which witnesses all the perceptions or no? That which is aware of all the perceptions or no? Confirm by looking, not because you know this already. And looking is not sight. Don't let the words confuse you. They're very simple. Just be open and empty. Notice that it is not just perception. How many feel like it is only perceptions? There's nothing beyond perception. Anybody? Anybody? Don't be scared, because I know you know the right answer, but if you still feel like I have to meet it, I'm not clear about it yet, it's actually very simple. You will notice that which is aware of these perceptions is unperceivable, and yet you are aware of these perceptions. Undeniably, you are aware. You may be confused about who the you is, but that it is you are not confused about. You may say, but I don't know who that is. Yes, we are not talking about that. We're just saying that it is you, isn't it? Any perception, it is you that is aware of it. Otherwise, you would not call it a perception or a sensation or a phenomenon. Now, you can never perceive. And that is why you feel like my self-inquiry is not working, because you're waiting to perceive yourself. In the self-inquiry, many are waiting to perceive themselves. And because it doesn't, the self will never become perceivable. You feel like it is not working, although actually it is always working. Okay, we're coming back to this. So, that which is aware of all of these perceptions, that is the unmanifest. And the way you know it right now, without trying, the way you know it right now is the only way you will ever know it. Let's be clear about this. The way you know it right now, which is independent of perceiving and thought, is the only way you will ever know it. So that will not change. The mode of self-knowledge, the mode of self-recognition, the mode of self-realization will never change. It is only like this. So that which is not a perception and you are aware of right now is yourself. And the beauty of this recognition is that in this, can you draw a line between yourself and that which is being perceived? Is there a line which says, okay, I end here and the world starts from there? Welcome to world. Hope you have a good stay. Is there a board like that? Nothing. You see? So that separating line is only notional in the construct of the manifest, never in a reality, isn't it? So this is the one Lord, the one reality, the one absolute, the one self. Because here, there is no distinction between the unmanifest and manifest. If you find a distinction, tell me. A dividing line, a boundary. It is impossible because that which is the unmanifest cannot be described in any spatial or temporal terms, any terms of time and space at all. So not possible. So who is not finding the Govind of Yamdev's bhajan? This is it. You see? Now if you wanted something else, you see, if you wanted something else, then that false desire then has to be dropped. Because there is nothing greater than this. See? Your mind, some of you, if you're new, your mind may be saying, but this can't be it. What's the big deal in this? This? Please, meet this without your head and tell me what you're discovering. This is the most magnificent, the beyond all imagination discovery that you are. That which is witnessing all of these perceptions, you see, where is it located? Has no location. Are you hearing yourself? Because we hear this so often, we just become like, yeah, it has no location. You have no location. There is no where about you. You are not in this universe. That which is aware of the universe is not in this universe. That is the you that you are meeting. When you say, oh, it is beyond perception. You see, beyond perception. But every perception is in time and space. What is beyond perception? You. Where? Cannot find. Because you're beyond time, you're beyond space. Timeless and spaceless. So please don't buy into any notion that, oh, just this, it can't be just this. This is too simple. See? Attaching value based on the difficulty of the attempt is a very worldly construct. For the biggest thing, you have to try the hardest. You see, and that is why spiritual seeking seems so difficult. It is the opposite here. You see? When you let go of your grasping, let go of your trying, which is open and empty, then this is apparent to you. If you don't carry the monkey on your back, saying, what about me now? What did this do for me? Drop that idea and meet yourself. This is the most magnificent discovery which sages for times immemorial have been pointing to. Just this. So the first, okay, let's first confirm that this is apparent to all of us here. Apparent or no? Yeah. Who feels like it is only manifestations, only perceptions? All there is perceptions right now. Nothing beyond perceptions is aware of those perceptions. Anybody who feels that way? Okay. Secondly, is it just a thought that there must be something beyond these perceptions? Are you just relying on that thought? It can't be just these perceptions. I know. You see? I know that there has to be something. You see? Is it because you've heard from a master, you've read in a scripture, you just think that that is a better option to pick? Whatever the reasoning is it just coming from knowledge? It's not coming from knowledge. Is it on some memory of something that you had in last week, last satsang, last year, last month, last life? Is it reliant on the past? This is an important one because many don't participate in the active inquiry because you feel like that's covered ground. I know this already. See? So are you answering from a past experience or are you answering just now? See? That which is aware of the perception of this hand or this voice, is that not beyond perception? Is that not apparent? Just right now in your direct checking, not based on some conceptual understanding. And is that not you? You are aware, no? Is beyond perceptions? Yes.
Yeah.
Is it you or you're relying on some second-hand information?
Yes.
It's you, isn't it? So this you that you're discovering is not a perception, it is beyond time and space. Can it come and go? You see, we can go through all the pointers that the sages have told us, that Guruji has told us. Was it born? Will it die? Will it come and go? All of these things we can go through, and you will see that that is apparent. So you are discovering this. So this discovery, this insight is available. Now, first we said cannot be this simple. We saw it is. To allow yourself to be simple is the toughest. You see? To get into complications, to get into variables, to get into understanding, to get into problem resolution, to get into grasping and owning, that is simple. To allow yourself to remain innocent like this is the most difficult. So, just now, notice that every thought that you have is not talking about the you that you are discovering. Because it can't really talk about that you. It may be talking to you as if you're a spiritual seeker. But that is not the you that you just found. Both Saguna and Nirguna. That is your reality. Is your mind talking about you in that way? See, only when it is posing spiritually. That I, somebody, am now both unmanifest and manifest. Especially, I'm so special because like that. So it has this whole agenda that way, the spiritual ego. Now, if it is not talking about you, what makes you want to believe it to be true? See? So stop it. Stop it. Don't stop the mind. Don't have to stop the mind. It can come and go. See, but stop buying its nonsense. Stop buying its lies. To take lies to be true is what? Intelligence or folly? See? So take truths to be true and take lies to be false. And all doubt, see, all doubt. Even if you've been with me since the first day I've shared satsang, or you've been into this type of satsang for years before that, I've noticed that the mind can still get you by saying, I can't explain why, but what he has found is different from what I'm finding. See, what the masters have found, what the sages have found, somehow different. See? Don't fall for that. Don't fall for that absurd proposition, because it's not true. There can be no other unmanifest that you will find as yourself. No. You see, you're finding the unmanifest you. Undeniably, I've asked 3 times now, nobody said I'm not finding it. You're finding an unmanifest you. Now, can there be another unmanifest you? For there to be another unmanifest you, there would be some difference in quality. No? So, unmanifest cannot have a difference in quality. You see, so if I have found an unmanifest myself, and you are finding an unmanifest myself, how can they be different because they are unmanifest? They would have to have a qualitative difference to be different, isn't it? They would have to manifest to be different. You see, so either you're doubting that you're finding the unmanifest you, but you can't doubt it because I say to you, are you aware of the perception of this hand? You say yes. Can that you be perceived? No. That is unmanifest you. So our discovery is the same. Don't allow the mind to trick you and say otherwise. With me? This is an important point because we keep thinking that it has to change in some way, it has to become steady, it has to have to stabilize here, have to something. See? There is nothing the manifest has to do for the unmanifest. It cannot. No? What can the manifest aspect give to the unmanifest? You see? Okay, can the manifest leave the unmanifest? Just like, I'm going to go off on my own now. Awareness, you are not helping me. I have prayed to you many times. You have not helped even once. I'm going on my own. I'm off. Can you do it? You see? It's like, what would stability mean then? If it was possible for you to separate and come back, then stability would mean something. If you cannot leave this, like don't be aware for a moment. Just allow the unmanifest to be there. Just allow the manifest to be there. Forget about the unmanifest. Let it not be there. Can you do it? So the manifest has to live in the unmanifest. Has to appear to the unmanifest. So this notion of stabilizing, living here, working with my attention, all that is nonsense. Why try to stick on to that which you can never leave anyway? You can't leave it. It's like someone hugging some body which is hugging the earth saying, I'm afraid I may fly off. Not possible. No, gravitation is already doing that for you. So our attempts to stabilize, our attempt to, what is the famous word? Abide. See? Our attempt to abide is causing our disobedience. Our attempt to abide is making us confused and lost. See? What is the way to, why does the sages say abide then? They're just trying to tell you don't believe the false in 20,000 different ways. Don't believe that which is false about you, abide in that which is true about you. You made it into something that you have to do with your attention or something. You see, what is the way in which most of us understand abide. Abide in the truth. The truth is always there. The truth is here. Yes, we believe that. And also we believe we must abide in it. But if it's always there, then how can you not abide in it? You see, only in your thoughts, isn't it? You can only believe otherwise. So don't believe otherwise. So that is abidance. So, and because why I'm pointing this out is because abidance sounds very spiritual, but it becomes our line of defense against meeting this. The minute you say, I have to abide, who are you taking yourself to be? Abider, yes. The abider has to be who? Forget about it. Try to, in fact, leave this. Leave the unmanifest one who is aware of this perception, this realm of perceptions. Try to do that. Let's see if you succeed. You say, I've had enough of the truth. I'm going to play. You see, it doesn't help anyway. I'm going to leave it. So don't be aware. Can you do it? So forget about that. Forget about that. You did it, Sumit?
No, I just want to say that when you especially ask us to be not aware, then we cannot help. But by ourselves, when we are, then we are engaged in our thoughts. So at that time, I cannot consciously do this.
Who comes and tells you that this happens to you?
No, it's in my memory. From my memory, if I remember.
What is memory? It is, suppose it is like that. You see, it's a supposition that it is a repository of past things that who was aware of?
No, I don't get what to say.
What is memory? Memory is just a data bank, a repository of images that who was aware of?
That I was aware of.
You were aware of, no?
Yes.
So that awareness was there even then.
Yes.
Was that awareness manifest?
No.
That's it. So the unmanifest reality of you always is there. You see, always is there, whether you're buying into the construct of your thoughts or if you're not. The only difference is then when you're buying into the construct of your thoughts, your experience, your living experience seems to be getting constricted by the false belief system. And when you're not buying into those, it is not. You see? But the truth is always the truth. That doesn't go away. See? That doesn't go away. So the only difference then is what you're saying is that when you're in satsang, you're not believing the false about yourself. But many times in so-called day-to-day life, we end up believing the false about ourselves. You see? Yes?
Yes, yes.
So if that is how it is, then what you're actually saying is that, yes, I realize that I am awareness right now, but sometimes I believe that I'm a squirrel. You see? So sometimes I believe that I'm a squirrel. What can I do about that? Don't believe you're a squirrel at all times. But sometimes I still do. Okay, start with now. You see? That's all that you can do about it. It's not that something real is changing. But you as consciousness have the ability to take yourself to be anything. You see? So you end up taking yourself to be Sumit from time to time, a man from time to time. You see? Those time to time, because the hypnosis is compelling, can seem like it happens, but it will stop. once you see that there is no value in that, even the belief will not be so strong.
Yeah, thank you. Thank
So,
you for this.
that which you are in reality, does that change in any way?
No.
Now, the trouble is not for that one. The trouble is for which one?
The first one, the person one.
Trouble is for the one that we take ourselves to be, who took on this spiritual adventure and wants to come to a fancy conclusion at the end of the story. He started on the journey
Yes.
of enlightenment. And just the whole journey just ended because the protagonist just died midway through the book. That's not such an exciting end. Just like almost there, almost there. And then nobody could find the protagonist. And we followed the protagonist around for the entire 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, I don't know how many years. You see? So the narrative just dissolved. It did not end with enlightenment. Would you be happy if your spiritual journey like that ended like that?
Yes.
Okay. I'm happy. I'm very happy. The end of the narrative, not the glorious ending that you wanted in the narrative. See? That is the important part. The ending of the ability or the inclination to place yourself in some limited reference. See? That is freedom. Not the reference of now becoming somebody, becoming an enlightened being or some nonsense like that. Then when you lose the inclination to place yourself in any such narrative, then those around you may start to say, you see, first they'll say that you're depressed and stupid and losing the plot. Then after some time, as you remain without narrative, then they may call you free or enlightened. You see, but that's their problem. You have not changed because you have not added anything to the narrative. So nobody ends this search by becoming an enlightened person, enlightened being. It is the end of the narrative because you don't know how to place yourself in a story anymore. That which I've showed you just today also, even if this is your first satsang, put that in your story. Let me see. I want to hear a story like that. That which is aware of all of these perceptions. What happened to that one? Impossible. Because not in time, then how will you put it in the story? So, to recognize that the narrative did not belong to a valid entity is to allow yourself to not be interested in the story anymore. Now, what continues to happen in spite of direct satsang like this is that quietly sometimes the voice comes in and says, but what about me? And sometimes it can be both ways, but many times it can be, how come father doesn't confirm for me? He confirmed for this one, he confirmed for that one, but for me, he never confirmed. Huh? So, if the what about me keeps coming back, should we give that more importance or less importance? So, this what about me is not just about satsang. It's about everything. It is about the mind trying to take ownership of your pure insights and make them individualized. So neither can you carry this monkey on your back through the gates of freedom, neither can you feed enlightenment back to this monkey which is waiting outside the gate. See? Because many times that becomes the attempt. I had such beautiful inquiry with Father. I saw I'm the unmanifest and the manifest. Now, what about me? What about you? What do you want out of this? What do you want out of this? Are you even real? That me? Is that even real? So don't fall for this trick. It is true that because of all the clicking and now I've started shouting and all of this stuff, it is tough to carry the me into this pointing as you're being shown. You see? It is true. But don't fall for that trick that the monkey is waiting outside the gate saying, you had your fun, come. What did we get? What did we get? Let it go. So often I've said in satsang that the recognition is super simple. Super simple. In fact, simpler than simple. There's nothing you have to do. In fact, if you're going the wrong way. Super simple. But it is this what about me, resistance, conditioning, all of this stuff, which seems to take more time, more attention. But all that you really have to do is remain open and empty, or remain in the unborn, or let go of the false identification. Whatever pointer allows you to be open, you remain open. Do you really feel that you can squeeze what you have found just now into a bundle of flesh? Do you really feel like you can squeeze what you're discovering, which is all there is, both the unmanifest and the manifest, into some story about yourself? Can't do. Into some specialness? Into some notion of freedom or being enlightened? Is the absolute that small that you want to own it? The non-existent me wants to own it? We must stop all of this. Let's stop. It's all absurd. So that was the, let's say, first part. Then part two is about just the mind, just you reporting back from here saying, but the mind is so strong. But the mind is now saying, and the minute I go to the inside, my mind says, you see, I am saying, are you aware now? You're saying my mind says. Which one do you think I'm interested in? You see, after having been oppressed by this mind, And only through the grace of Guruji to find it to be so powerless. See? Do you feel like I'm really interested in what your mind has to say? See? In fact, my question to you is you have to stop being interested. It is your oppressor. It is not your friend. As Guruji would say, not yet. So when I say, are you aware now? What is your discovery? Most of you tell me what your mind says. What is so important about what your mind is saying? If it was so cool, you would be happier. No? You would not be here. You would not be in satsang if your mind was so full of contentment and happiness. It is the voice of constriction, of limitation, of making you out to be this measly thing, which you're not. So what if your mind says, my mind says, my mind says? So what? Is freedom about just now tracking what the mind is saying about this? Okay, I need to have some narrative. Is it like that? So forget this about my mind is saying. I don't want to know what your mind is saying. What are you saying? And sometimes you say, but for me it is clear. Then what's the problem? You see? So we must not find excuses to listen to the mind in the construct of, oh, my mind is saying this. It's just a subtle way of getting belief. See? Believing its constructs by saying, oh. It's like those conversations, no? Where it's like, I don't even want to mention that about that, while mentioning it very, very sneakily. I'm not even getting into that part where you did this to me. And that's how we argue sometimes, isn't it? So you've made the accusation, but you've hidden it under this very convenient construct. So when you say, my mind is saying, most of the time, it is that you want to expose that you're believing some nonsense that the mind is saying. If it was irrelevant to you, why would it be relevant to say my mind is saying? And what could your mind say that will surprise any of us? It's going to be about the 4 topics of life. It's going to be about one of those things. What else can your mind say? It is going to be about the non-existent protagonist, central character who doesn't exist. What else can your mind say? So we played this game now for 10 years. We can keep playing it for 10 more lifetimes if you keep going to the mind saying, my mind is saying, my mind is saying. How does it matter what your mind is saying if it is not about you? It's like saying, I put on a news channel, some Al Jazeera, and they're filming in Qatar or something like that. And it's just like, what they're talking in that neighborhood in Qatar? Are you planning to go there? You have some relatives living there? Do you have anything to do with that neighborhood? No. So then why bother? That how much is a gallon of milk for in that neighborhood? How does what's it about? So don't fall for this trick. There's a big difference between when we say expose it in satsang and the excuse to just buy into the construct of what the mind is saying just in the garb of exposing. To expose in satsang implies that we take something which is so often believed that it becomes like a condition. that I cannot let go of it. And all this is nonsense, of course. You as consciousness can let go of anything. But when you buy into this notion, then sometimes when it escapes from your mouth, especially in front of Master and Sangha, then you yourself hear the absurdity which you're saying. And the belief gets drained out of it. See? Because many times in the presence of Sangha, you notice that you are completely not what your mind is representing. So when you start exposing like that, wow, who is this? But don't make it a conduit or a refuge for your belief. What else? And so you can notice that the recognition apparent. Is it just perceptions? At any point of time, actually, for all of you, because you had the insight, at any point of time, I can ask you, is it just perceptions? Apparent. Is it just perception? Is it only perception? Huh? Is it only perception? No. That's self-discovery. Can you imagine? That's it. What else is there? Is it just perceptions and something else and you? No. Is there any distinction between perceptions and you? Only in communication, when we have to speak, then we make the qualitative distinction between manifest, experiential, perceivable self and the unperceivable self. Only for uh, communication or pointing in satsang. But in reality, no distinction. Now, okay, favorite one for many, over 10 years, I've heard this 10,000 times, which is that it is not narrative. See, it's not story. It is purely energetic. It is purely energetic. And it comes. And it's so strong. Now, all this is not story. It's not story. Because it's actual. It's actually so strong. For whom? What is so strong for being? What is so strong for that which is aware of being? What is so strong? Is there, this was in the broadcast, I was asking whether inherently in the realm of perception, something is more meaningful, valuable than another. Inherently. And inherently means without labels or applying thought. Intuitively, in the realm of perception, something stronger or weaker? Inherently. Anything stronger or weaker in the realm of perception, anything more meaningful, less meaningful in the realm of perception. If it was true like that, then Guruji would not have told us that nothing has inherent meaning in the realm of perception. You see? Because inherently there would be a value judgment possible saying this is better, this is worse, this is stronger, this is weaker, this is up, this is down. So don't buy this false notion which the mind is presuming, which the mind is proposing, saying, it's not me. You're over me. I see it. We've broken up. But look, I'm just telling you about this energy which is so strong for you. What am I doing? It's so strong, but it's so strong. Is it? Strong for who? For who? For that which we just discovered to be all there is and beyond all there is. Strong for that? Or is this judgment about strong or weak just an excuse to get back into false identification? This is worth contemplating. Because we keep coming back to this, saying, it's just energetically. That's like saying the waves are so strong on the surface of the ocean that the ocean is getting hurt. I'm not thinking about the waves. It's the waves themselves which are hurting the ocean. So without this meaning-making construction that this is what something means, we cannot even distinguish good, bad, better, worse. And this is the eating the apple of good and bad removes our innocence. So these value judgments, these truth value distinctions that we make, then take away the innocence which is needed to enter the kingdom of heaven. So it's not my thoughts, it is just energetic. It is only a thought. Forget about it. No energy can appear here which can scratch me even in the slightest way. I am saying this on our behalf. If an energy came which was strong enough to dissolve, to eat up this entire universe, it would still not hurt you. It cannot be cut, it cannot be burnt, as Krishna has reminded us in the Gita. You needed to have been born to be hurt. You needed to have taken some shape, but you never have. And this is what you're discovering. All of you. You cannot take the me along. That's all. And you cannot feed the me the fruits of this discovery. You cannot feed the fruits of this discovery to this me. If you feed it to that me, it is only the me then becoming the spiritual me, the spiritual ego. Just because the mind will chant, but what about me? But what about me? Doesn't mean that you have to buy it. What else is needed now? Else is needed. And just looking at everyone, just observe the sort of hypnosis to get back into making some position for yourself. So when the pause happens from the speaking, is there an opportunity for the mind to come and say, that was pretty strong today. Okay, good, good. So what should we do now? Or whatever, any position, any reference to yourself. Is it like this? Just let it come in. This is the whole game. What is the me story that you're going to pick up next? Is it the story about getting stuck again? Is it the story about freedom? Is it the story about almost there?
Story is false.
Yeah.
Whatever story is false.
Every story is false. The last thing, and then we can go to the questions, is that it is completely possible to have heard everything I've just said, like in an intellectual and conceptual way, and that your mind can use as a spiritual checker guide. So I want to just place this caution also. And many times when it is being heard conceptually like that, see, because that is our habit, to try and hear and to understand, then that conceptual understanding many times can be mistaken to be what I'm pointing to. This is a very subtle sort of topic, because naturally some of what I'm saying, because I'm speaking in a language which all of you understand, some understanding will obviously happen. But don't take that understanding which is conceptual to be the understanding that I'm pointing to. I'm not, so when I say don't understand, like what can you do to not understand? If you don't listen, then I'll say, listen, why aren't you listening? You see? So that can seem very zen then. So one hand is saying listen, and second he's saying don't understand. So what I'm really saying is that allow that process to happen naturally, what is happening, either understanding or not understanding. I am saying that that is not important to me. What you have understood conceptually or not is not in the least important to me. See? That which I'm pointing to, see, is very, very straightforward, but you can seem to miss it if you start relying on the conceptual understanding as if that is the truth. Yes? I'll repeat this. And understand it or not, it doesn't matter. So, but I'll repeat this. So, when I say don't understand, but listen, see, it can seem like there is a contradiction there. So, what I'm really trying to say is that I don't need you to understand what I'm saying. Whether you understand conceptually or not is not what is important to me. See? It is important to me that as it is being spoken, you follow along. See? When I say contemplate, I don't mean think about it and understand what I'm saying. I'm saying contemplation is to look. So when I'm saying, are you aware now? Look instantly. Are you aware? Who is aware of the perception of this hand? You are. So don't understand the question, don't understand the answer. Or if that understanding is happening, let it go on. It's okay. But there's a deeper understanding. There's an intuitive insight, which is all that I care about, and that all of you have. All of you can follow. It is not difficult. So when I say listen but don't understand, it doesn't matter what your intellect is making out of this. If right now I ask all of you to repeat what I've said today or what are the highlights, everybody's going to say some very different things. Even if you think that you've completely understood, because what your mind will assimilate is very different from what I'm actually pointing to. See? So let that process happen or not happen. Whether you say to me, I have understood today for the first time everything you've said. Okay? You have not understood anything that you've said today. Okay? You see, because that level where you can or cannot is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is more direct, is inescapable. It is just, you can't miss it. Are you aware now? You can't miss it. See? Unless you're finding the answer in the conceptual understanding. See? So if you value your conceptual understanding, that will only become the checker guy and the spiritual ego, which will check, which will make life miserable for you, checking, constantly taking your own report card and also judging everybody around you. See? You see? So that will what will happen. The only probably usefulness of it is that it may serve as if it is a reminder of the pointers that you've heard in Satsang. Besides that, it's complete. The spiritual ego is the most oppressive, not just for yourself, but also for your friends and family. So that is the opposite of freedom. So don't rely on what you have understood after listening to the words of Satsang. Let that happen on its own. You be unconcerned. So there is really no, this is not that kind of classroom where after class you can have a conversation and say, but father said like that. What did you think he meant? What did he? No, I think he meant. No, it doesn't matter what either of you think. See? Because what I'm saying is not capturable in meaning. So don't try to decipher what is being meant. Like you cannot decipher what is being meant in a question like, are you aware now? What is the meaning? So the truth cannot be interpreted in multiple ways. And I'm pointing to the truth. And it cannot be understood in our heads. So at best, the head can be just a storehouse for a couple of reminders of what you hear in Satsang. Some pointers which bring you back to your heart. So stop churning your head as if you will find some truth there. You can use it as a cupboard where you may store one or two pointers. At best, even that you don't need. Your heart will point you in the right direction always. But if you have to give it some usefulness, that is all you can say about it. I feel like again saying one last, although I've said one last the last 6 times, but the last thing is, my question to all of you is, who is all of this about? Who has all of this been about? Which one is that you? Of course, all of this has been about you, but which one is that you? Is that you the one that has a house in this world? Or even if that you which is homeless in this world? It's never been about that. So don't apply this to that. Don't try to force fit this into that. This is how you trouble yourself. It may become a spiritual expectation that now I have to be. Like, how will a body-mind be open and empty? Like, what does the open and empty body look like? But you can fathom this. What is the unborn for that which was born in this world? What is the unborn for that one? The unborn doesn't apply to that one. So all of this has been about you. All of this has been your dream, but not the dream character's dream. So don't try to fit this into that one's construct. That which you call yourself, that which name your parents or whoever may have given you, it is not that one's dream. This is the dream of the one that has no name. That is you. Okay, let's go to the hands. Madalena.
Hello, Father. Thank you for this emptiness. I put my hand up because I wanted to check with you if I was asleep or aware. I couldn't follow you with my mind. And
Okay, forget it. Just forget all that. Forget all that. Are you aware now?
I am aware now.
That I, is that perceivable?
No,
That's it.
amen. I
Amen.
don't know. Yes. Anna wants to say hello, I think, because she can't hear. You can wave, Anna.
He's getting more comfortable on camera.
Say hello. También. Extremita un poquito. Thank you, thank you.
Oh,
Hi. Thank you.
welcome. So, okay, good. Let's go to Satyam.
Hello, Ananta-ji. Can you hear me? Can you hear the voice?
Yes, yes.
There is a storm happening in Rishikesh. Temperature is 41.
That's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah, and there is no power. So welcome to India.
I've been here all the time.
But yes, it's.
What God?
It's my saying
Daddy.
namaste to you.
नमस्ते, नमस्ते।
ठीक है
बहुत बढ़िया।
अच्छा
Good to-
So, I've nothing prepared as usual. The sense of being without any effort is here, and there's a awareness of also this just being.
Yeah.
So if you say with that, it's almost traumatic now. This click
Romantic.
in a nice way, not in a.
Ananta coming in the dream and clicking. Yeah, post-traumatic stress because of my clicking.
Yeah.
It should be traumatic to the thought construct actually, because it blasts anything that we try to construct.
So Anantaji, it's so I don't know how to put it in words. So this I'm just sorry. There's a storm blowing. I have to go in the. Sorry for that.
No.
So this I'm just remembering Ramesh Balkar, one of his books, that this seeking, it happens in certain body mind, and in certain body mind it doesn't happen.
So let me stop you there. So that's what I was saying. Don't make meaning out of anything that you heard. If some of that is happening naturally, let it happen. Don't worry. But don't get validation or invalidation for anything that is conceptual. What will you do with that understanding? If it is like this, like that, this equals this and that equals that, then what will we do with that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, I guess it's just what you would say in Hindi, a khujli, just a scratch.
Maybe. But even that we don't have to determine.
Right. Yeah.
It can feel a bit naked for some time like that. You see, it can feel a bit naked without being able to determine what is anything. You see, it can feel too open. But that is what you will love to live in now. You see, it may be a bit scary initially. So
I'm just something from the memory. It's I'm sitting before a guy, beautiful man, belonged to Osho's, and he says, "Okay, let's have one-to-one meeting." And he was saying, "This finger can't find itself, Satyam, so stop it."
stop. Good.
Yeah. So he pointed out the finger and he says, "It cannot find itself." And now when I look back, it's true, but there was so much identification with the seeker.
Even this. Now, traumatic clicking. No past, no future, no meaning, no meaning. What did that mean? What did that mean? He said that. Nothing. And everything. Allow yourself to feel a bit wobbly. It's okay. See? That's just the mind's withdrawal symptoms. So what is he saying? What? Don't place yourself in any construct. Just leave it. No yesterday, no tomorrow, nothing.
You feel like very.
Don't determine, my dear. Don't determine what it is. Because it is not true. Your mind will take a grasp out of the whole universe. It will pull out one leaf and say, this is what this feels like. It's not true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's something within which wants to really see it.
It cannot. No? He said it cannot do it.
It's exactly the word determine, to determine. Now this is it. This is it.
To determine the nature of anything is the construct of the mind, but all its determinations are not true. It will just put you back in the tiny narrative. Now I'm feeling like this. No, you're not. You're feeling much more than that. You're seeing much more than that. Really, there's so much more to your life than what the construct will tell you.
So like this, Anantaji, every moment the mind is having a narrative which is not true. What is happening right now between you and me, it's having a narrative, there's a dialogue happening. But so in this way, as we talk, there's no hidden meaning in anything, whatever I give.
The meaning is too much for your mind to fathom, but in your heart is fully known. But don't try to squeeze the heart knowledge into your mind. That's it.
So whatever the head is saying, what is happening between right now is a very small part of what is happening.
Let's try this experiment. Tell me something true what your head can say about what is happening right now. Tell me the truth.
I really don't.
If the mind cannot determine one moment of perception, forget the unperceivable.
It's just tears. Really, I'm so surprised. Just tears coming.
So we've been relying on the weighing scale to tell us the distance.
From the heart, there is no distance between you and me. There is just this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Again and again. This thank you is again and again. If I don't say it, but it's always thank you and gratitude.
Always welcome. Always welcome. Okay, let's go to Jada.
Hello, Father.
Namaste, namaste to both of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Don't hear you so well, my dear.
Yeah. Can you hear me well now,
Yes.
Father? Yeah. So thank you again for your guidance and everything. Just maybe I want to bring something which I realized during today's guidance.
Yeah.
It was, of course, just so powerful, and it was just so obvious with the power of it, like what is person and what is, I still cannot say me for this because the me is still identified with the person, but it was just so incredibly obvious, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. And what I realized is that I love to be person on some level. Like
whoa. Stop.
Yeah.
Because that's how we start to get into trouble. See?
Yes, I also, yes, please,
That's
you
how we
say.
start to get into trouble. The insight is apparent. You said beautifully, actually, that I cannot still say me because me has been used for something else. So what I'm discovering about myself, I I don't feel yet comfortable calling that me. It's fine. That's beautiful. Eh? Then when you said what you wanted to say about what you are realizing is not something that you are realizing, but it is the translation which you are understanding. Is it? Can you spot it? So when you say, after having looked at what you have said, you went through the process beautifully of what was being shared. But when you say, now this is what I realize, it is not what you realize, because what you realize is beyond words. You see, it is your mind's attempt to construct out of that beautiful insight some meaning.
Yes,
And
it's kind of
it feels
heavy,
too,
Father.
yes, because it can feel oppressive that this is what this actually means. This is what this means. No, it doesn't. Allow yourself to meet the deeper meaning in your heart where you're not able to articulate what it means. Otherwise, it just remains it's such a beautiful insight. I don't want you to make a conceptual understanding out of it. You see?
Not so sure.
Tell me from your heart what you realize.
Oh,
Not from
it
your
was
head.
okay. Nothing, and nobodiness obvious. And what this person was incredibly revealed by the power of your guidance.
Okay, no, that again, from your heart right now.
From my heart.
I'll smell it because it comes from my heart. Take your time, take a minute, don't rush.
Okay. From my heart, I will.
आज कोई बॉयफ्रेंड हो गया लगता है इसका पहले अकेली होती थी हरदम में
It's Satyam.
Satyam is not on mute and he is making jokes.
I have to mute myself.
Father, if I go so hard, I cannot go to past and bring something to you.
Tell me what your heart is saying.
Now,
Yeah.
nothing.
Wait.
Okay, I will wait. Sorry.
No, wait for your heart, because with your heart you rush. Don't rush.
Okay.
You see? And what is the, I won't say way. Are you in your heart right now? Yes. If you are, then allow your mouth to move. Don't be scared.
Okay.
It can be scary. It can be scary. I don't know what nonsense may come out. But just stay in your heart and allow the mouth to move. Even if it's blue. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I need to thank you for giving me this freedom. Oh, it's not easy.
Feeling is coming from my heart. Actually, it is just that we are in too much fear to allow it to operate this body, to allow it to run this body.
At least it loves.
You want to first validate. Say, okay, what are you going to say? Then the head will certify. That's why we go to the past. That's why we go to the past, because we feel like, okay, this I can say in front of 100 people. See? Because this sounded good and this sound. But just fresh from the heart.
Oh, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Oh, but I really want
to meet
from
this
my
fear is very important. To meet this fear is very important. Allow it and you will trust it. See that it is higher level of intelligence than your mind can fathom. Sometimes sentences start here midway through the sentence, they make no sense, but they complete themselves. And they're, you see, this needs trust.
Oh, I want to. I did this. This is my. Oh my God! I I don't know. I want to.
This
I
is,
want to.
you see, we can live from here, but the mind says you'll be so lost and you'll just look stupid and nothing intelligent will come from you. Everybody will hate you. They will think, but it's the opposite. It's the opposite. Just speak.
Should I?
Huh?
Should I? Now I don't know anything
Yes,
now.
always. If you speak, speak from your heart.
Oh, Father, it's amazing because I don't know anything now. I know, but I don't know. Yay! What you
It's
said.
good. Really,
I
that
want to speak from
is
my
good.
heart.
Yes.
Yeah, this was my wish. Like really, just I wanted to open and I want to speak from my heart. Yeah, this was my wish. Yeah, I don't know how, but yeah, it's good. Yeah, I'm happy. Not even. I don't know.
Very
I don't want to say even these cliches like I'm happy. I'm like just yes, speak from heart freely. Yeah. Yeah, and then yeah, as you said, I just realized I don't need to go to even satsang turns. I can speak whatever this one wants to speak. Whether
Don't mix.
it wants to use satsang terms, it's again. I go another place.
Yes, you're mixing. You're mixing.
Okay, I don't know anything
Don't hear you now.
need to help.
There's something wrong with your
Yes,
internet now.
not
Yeah.
is it good now?
Yeah, this part we heard. And this part. Okay, we'll come back. We'll come back. Okay, we'll go to Audrone.
Hello, Father.
Oh, my dear. Last time we spoke,
Nice to
I put you on the spot, no? Like, you say something.
Yeah. Yeah, and I had nothing to say. Okay, and now I came with a request on behalf of my husband because my husband, he's been on this spiritual path for almost 20 years now.
Nice.
He's practicing yoga, meditating, and basically he follows Jesus' teachings. And now I see that he became like desperate, like.
Nice.
But he refused to come to your satsang.
Yes.
Because he doesn't speak English. I invite him. I say I will translate. But somehow he's very stubborn. He's very strong, very stubborn. He has a lot of deep spiritual experiences, and somehow he says no one has to come in between me and God.
Yes.
But as I feel it, like I want just him to come to you. So maybe I try to talk to him, but he says, he says, okay, you have been listening to Ananta-ji like for months now, for 1 year maybe now. So show me the change. You do not change. I feel that I have changed, I feel so much lighter, so much, I don't know, just so.
Everyone everyone here, their families and friends, they hear this. What is the point of going to satsang? You still get so angry. How is it helping you? How is this thing we all hear? In fact, my family can tell me that also, saying, what is this, all this satsang thing? No?
Yeah.
We can never
Yeah,
actually,
so,
we can never actually convince anyone about anything. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Because,
so yes, but he's searching for God, and I feel I have heard somewhere that those spiritual seekers, we like, no, let's go like this, like some are like wet wood, some are like dry wood, some are like gunpowder.
yeah,
I feel that he's like gunpowder. His name is Gitas, and like he would explode. He just needs a little guidance, but he refuses to come. So not that he is like just worldly person.
yes, yes.
He's a wonderful man. He's very strong, very very kind. But I don't know. I just leave it to you. Okay, take care of him.
So sweet. Thank you. Full blessings, full love. Whatever expression of this inner Sadguru presence, the inner divinity, the inner Jesus, inner Sadguru, whatever term we want to use, whatever expression is best suited for his temperament is going to open him up completely to this complete self-recognition. May that show up for him, whatever the format of satsang may be, in whichever form God needs to appear for him. Finding, may that be his discovery. May Guruji's grace guide him so beautifully to the place. Full blessing. Full blessing.
Thank you, Mother. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's go to Shrikant.
Am I audible, Father?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I just wanted to come up. I don't know. It's been some time since I spoke to you, so I thought.
Very, very good. What is your report on satsang from today?
Nothing.
It's a good nothing, I'm presuming. I'm an
Yeah.
optimist, so I will always.
Every time after satsang, like for 1 or 2 days, I feel like good, and light. But then again, I'll follow. But it's okay.
Yes, yes, yes. Just don't determine your condition, the world's condition. Nothing, nothing.
I don't feel like saying anything.
Very good, very good, very good. The truth that you are finding is way beyond any expression can contain. Don't feel like you're losing something if you're unable to express. Actually, the truth is like that. And yet, When the time is right, the heart will provide the words for the expression as well. So you don't have to worry about that.
I trust you, Father.
Very good.
Thank you.
All my love, all my love. Thank you. Okay, let's go to Sanji. So,
Thank you. I just felt that I have to come today. I'm experiencing like strong sensations and feelings.
how strong?
I can't say. They're just
You
here.
know that they are strong.
I cannot say they're strong. Only here I can say.
Look at that. That was quick.
Yes.
Oh, no defensiveness about that at all. This is very good. This is helpful. If you're willing to snap out of your position that quickly, then it's very good. It's rare for you to go from experiencing such strong sensations. Somebody says, how strong? Like, I don't know actually. Are they strong? That's very beautiful. Thank you. Very good. Very good.
Yes. So, no, I don't have anything to say.
This is beautiful. So, without determining the nature of what anything is, sometimes initially you may feel like, but then what can I say? But then, like I was telling Shrikant earlier, your heart will start to use this body how it wants, to say whatever it wants.
Thank you.
Don't ever think that because you're not able to narrate or you're not able to say this is what it is or it's not. Is it? Give it some time. You will allow the heart to take over in some way, and it will use this instrument very well. There's no rush. There's no rush. All my blessings. All my blessings.
Thank you. Love you.
Love you too. Okay, let's go. Can't hear you, my dear. You know, on Zoom they have this audio test. No, everybody can do it on. So we can try the audio test and come back if you like. All my love. Aniko, you can have your water. I'm not that scary, huh?
Hi, Ananta-ji.
Hello, my dear.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you well.
Yes, thank you so much. I just I just realized when you was speaking with Jada, actually I just realized
Okay, again, same thing. So what do you mean by realized?
Yeah. Probably this is just a feeling inside me. Then I am false. I am not true.
Okay,
I mean,
slowly, my dear. So can you realize a feeling? Like, I've never realized a feeling.
actually, I know this is true. This is true. I am so false sometimes. I am not speaking from my heart. I'm not doing things from my heart.
Your
In
heart
my,
is saying this right now. Is your heart saying that?
my heart doesn't say anything, Anantaji. Really, it doesn't say anything. It's so silent.
So trust the silence, my dear. Trust the silence. Is there any trouble in the silence?
I don't know what is the trouble, but something.
It is for this reason that I keep pointing out that when the heart is silent, then trust the silence, because that is the best guidance at that point of time. It can feel like my heart doesn't say anything, but we've not given it a chance. And that chance could be right now, it could be a minute later, it could be an hour later, 1 year later, one lifetime later. But give
No, I don't want lifetime later, Anantaji. And then, so whatever I speak and I open.
Within this lifetime, it will happen.
Sorry?
What if I give you guarantee that within this lifetime it will happen? Will you give?
I would be very happy.
Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
Yes.
Give it a chance. You have to give it a chance, and within this lifetime, it'll guide you. But till then, you have to trust the silence of the heart as well. We are probably understanding or not recognizing what this heart is. This heart intelligence is the intelligence which is running this entire universe. It is making the plants grow, the birds fly, our heart beat, all that intelligence. How does it happen? Where does it come from? It is all of this. See, it is only because we have relied on the false subtitle machine for so long that it can seem like, oh, my heart is not saying anything. See? But it doesn't have to say to guide. It may move your feet. It may move your mouth. It may move your hands. Just allow it. And what does it mean to allow the heart? It only means to not rely on the mind. It only means to remain headless. Does your head know how to laugh? Your head doesn't know how to laugh, so who is making the laughter happen now? It is the same heart. See, in fact, Papaji said you cannot laugh and think at the same time. See, so who's making the laughter happen? It's not your thoughts. It's not your mind. It's a deeper intelligence. That's your heart. Say hello to the heart. That's your heart.
I love you.
Oh, I love you. See, your heart is speaking already. See, the promise has come true so far.
Thank you so much.
And we'll sing happy birthday to you after.
Oh.
Happy birthday to the unborn. Yeah, to stop meeting like this. Always me. And the beginning is always the end is always laughter. Well, this sequence is better if you don't flip it around. Very good. Okay, let's go to Georg.
Hello.
Hello, Georg.
Hello. Yeah. It's I come up because I want to expose because you said something about exposing.
Yeah.
And this and just to expose it and leave it to you.
Yes.
Not and there's things because they come over and over again, and although I hear a lot of pointers and I don't know how to say it, but and I feel, but they still come. So I just expose them. This is one is the sense of responsibility for what I do. Also the I now the Georg, and the other is like it's a sense of a doer. It's so, but it's pointed out hundreds, thousands of times and so. And there's certain things that like guilt and not being good enough, and or I should feel good in every company, and because I all these oppressive things, or and then I see something. Oh, I take responsibility even of thoughts. I think, oh, this thought comes. How could I think that? So I think no, yeah, all this stuff. I really. I don't know what to do with that.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, let's look. Let's see what happens. So, do, like the notion of doing, plus good equals the notion of doing plus equals pride. The do plus bad equals guilt. Okay? Now both are false. Because there is no such do, there is no such doer, and there is no ability which the mind has to say good or bad. See? So in this case, two negatives don't make the positive. They make a bigger negative. See? There's no doer like that individually, and there is nothing in our head which can determine this is good or this is bad. See? Suppose you're very mean to someone, and they're crying. But that crying led them to inquire into the nature of reality, and they become the Buddha. So is what you did good or bad? Think and tell us that. There is no conceptual intelligence which can determine the goodness or badness of anything in that way. Anyway, the first aspect is that there is no such individual doer. There is no such individual doer. So trying to reconcile with two false notions in any way will not lead to the truth. Only the discarding of both of them will lead to the truth. So follow your heart. It is the most auspicious guidance without judgment about good, bad, right, wrong, better, worse, all of this. So what to do was the question. I don't know what to do with it. What is your heart saying? And give it time. Trust the silence. One rule for everyone is give your heart more time than Domino's pizza. Yes? You're willing to be patient for pizza delivery, but not for God's voice. in the silence of the heart, is there any trouble?
No, there was not the fear that maybe my heart doesn't speak. So, yeah.
There is no heart which doesn't speak. It's all one heart.
Yeah.
The same words of satsang, all this that you've been hearing for so many satsangs is coming from your heart, my dear. There is no two heart.
Yeah, there's full love.
Full love, see? Full love. And love is the opposite of fear. See? Love is the opposite of fear. Full love. In full love, you cannot fear. Sometimes some mind interpretation for some tiny energy here, there. Let's say there's so much fear. That's so much fear. Don't buy that story. It's very good to see that the heart does not rush.
Mm-hmm.
The heart does not rush. There is no need to force anything in life. Life will not fall apart without your decision making, which is all illusory anyway. Trust this completely. Trust this completely. Trust the silence of it also.
When I listen, and also when these attacks then come, and then I somehow they are more distant already. Yes. In this time, and then this finger of this of the mind is always that you can't go away like this. You're just hiding out. This is like this because there, yeah. But I'm just keeping silent.
So it's fine. It's fine. Just in your quest or fear of losing something or losing your progress or making progress, you see all of these things, then get into the mind's trap of determining our state or the nature of the mind or the nature of the energy or all of these things. Just free yourself from that oppression.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to figure anything out. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Just allow life to live. It's all perfect. There's nothing to worry. Not perfect according to the mind, but just perfect in itself. What would life be like if you did not have to figure anything out? Yeah, don't figure that. It is this attempt to resolve life, which is too broad, for us to conceptually resolve. So the attempt is actually to solve a non-existent problem. What should I do is a non-existent problem. The one that is doing already. It doesn't need the mind's guidance. And the one that doesn't exist cannot do. So what should I do is a great example of trying to solve a non-existent problem. Your being is here. Is everything not happening in the light of that being already? Who is doing all of this? The same light, the same consciousness is already doing. Does it need advice from its own measly creation, which is lying to it about itself? It doesn't need that advice. So it is doing all of this. It is being. In being, everything is happening effortlessly. And the I that can do apart from this has never been born. So how to solve this problem? What should I do? What should I do? Can you see the mind's trump card in that? In that construct, you believe there is an I to separate from that which is shining its light on all of this already. Who is animating this universe? Which energy is moving it? All this happening. Who is doing all of this? Some great intelligence. Great intelligence. Now we want to bring some value to that intelligence. It is impossible. It's already all intelligent, all knowing. It's all pervasive, all known already. So your mind cannot bring any value to that. It will only construct a non-existent you apart from this universal intelligence and say, what should that one do? That one has never existed.
Yeah, maybe, but I just say it because there's still this, I see it now, this stands here in the middle between, and the words come like around it, and I hear you, but it also tries to understand, and I don't know anymore. Yeah.
I've spoken about this attempt to understand a bit.
Yes.
That's good.
But on the spot here, it's like it's stronger, so that's why I come up.
It's just a fear of the unknown, like a fear of the conceptual unknown. See? Which translates into a seemingly honorable intent to just understand.
Yeah.
You see? What is the need to understand? It is just a conceptual antidote to meeting this fully naked.
Mm-hmm.
So in our understanding, we'll create a frame of reference. We'll create some guidelines, good, bad, right, wrong. You see, so then it feels like I can fathom these 2-3 variables. You see, but life is too broad, so I cannot compute all the million variables at the same time. So when we say understand, we are actually saying dilute. You see, you know what I mean by dilute? Dilute means just to make a simile, a copy, which is more recognizable. You see, I can work with the variables of it. You see, so that's our attempt when we try to understand. Life is too broad. Even in one moment, the stimulus is so much. We can't figure this out. You see, like just figure this out. Can you figure this out? This right now, can you figure this out? Can't figure this out. So to figure it out, which is to avoid the fear of what it seemed like the unknown in our mind, then we say, okay, this is what's happening here. This is Satsang, this is Master, this is disciples, this is Advaita, Vedanta. You see some stuff like that. And then we feel like I have some handles I can use. Okay, in Vedanta it is said like this, Master is supposed to be like this, disciples are supposed to be like this. You see? So we try to alleviate the fear of the unknown by putting some of these constructs around life. So if somebody came to Satsang for the first time and they were like, nobody was saying who is the master, who is the disciple, nothing like that was being defined for them. They would just be like, but what's going on here? What is happening here? I can't understand. One time, we had a retreat in Tiruvannamalai and I was wearing some casual clothes and everybody was walking around me. And they were just walking around me and I was wearing maybe a jeans or I don't know if it was there, but remember. So we were just walking and there were these people in Tiru who was just like, but who are these? Like, who's the master here? Who are these? What are they doing? You see, they could see the attempt. They could not understand what is happening. It seems like all the constructs are broken. So they could not fit it into any construct of what reality should represent itself like. But the life is like that. Every moment of life is like that. We cannot meet it in our heads. It is too big. So don't be scared of that. Learn to enjoy that. See, that is the life of a free one, of a free being, a avaduta. See? They're just like, they're not trying to say, oh, you are like this, I am like this is my role. You see, this is what should happen. So Govind was saying there's a movie like that, no, where Jesus is living like an Avduta. Which movie is that? Mary Magdalene. I want to see this one. I've not seen it yet. But just this one. So, what are we without our conceptual understanding? What contains you? What limits you? What do you have to do? What do you have to say? How to live? What would happen? Like all of us have this fear that if I forgot how to live, then I won't be able to live. Try it out. Just forget how to live. See if life makes you like a vegetable sitting on a bed all day. Don't know what to do. Don't know where to go. Nothing. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I just feel to hear Joanna for a bit and then we can take up the others next time when we meet.
Hi,
So,
thank you. There was something to say, and then from this last conversation, the mind has settled,
yeah.
and now it's almost a searching of like there's lots of things you could ask or still mention, but I don't know. No, I'm sorry, I don't want to waste an opportunity of someone else maybe, but I also am aware. I'm sure there's. I don't know. No, I don't know what I'm saying now.
I have to say, today's satsang, everything that my heart feels to say, I have said. I have
Yeah.
said. So you're not wasting anybody's opportunity. All the answers are there. So don't worry at all.
But it feels like making things so clear and beautiful guidance, and then maybe there's something like it's something with the mind, like that you should feel like this or experience this, and then everything should clear, and then you'll just feel really, the mind won't bother, that it will say things and you're like, yeah, I don't know, there's something with this a bit, something feels not so clear and
Don't buy it. Don't buy it.
yeah.
Don't buy it.
Like a river, this is again the collection of sticks, but just having like them flowing along the river as well, like almost visualizing the thoughts like a river as well flowing along.
Yes, allow it to flow. Allow it to just come and go like that. River, you can call it. I used to use this example of that these restaurants called Yo Sushi.
Mm.
Have you heard this from me? Where,
Yeah.
they have this conveyor belt, and then now there are many restaurants, even in India, they have some of this, where there's a conveyor belt, and based on the color of the plate, you see, you get billed at the end for what you picked up. So, how much will you be charged if you don't pick up any color plate?
Yeah, nothing.
See? And can something force you to pick up a plate?
No.
So that charge is identification, suffering, but cannot happen if consciousness doesn't pick up. All these plates are coming from the mind, offer after offer after offer. But no offer can force you to buy. And what is the offer? It is determining who you are in a limited way, and it is determining the nature of the world in a limited way. So
It
that
doesn't feel nice. It never does. It doesn't feel nice whenever something's picked up. It doesn't. No.
that's the charge. That's the charge. Charges for picking up the false.
But there was something that, well, right now, there's not. That can also just be a thought. But because something was hooked at, or like went to take something, I suppose, because, oh, have you thought this before? Was this your opinion or something? And oh no, it's awful. But do you believe it and all of this? And
Yeah, so that's why I was saying that everything I've said in satsang can also be used by your mind and intellect to create a spiritual understanding about any of this. But that's not the attempt at all. So don't judge yourself on any of this. Yes. The river is good, let it flow. You're fine. Don't go for a swim. And if you go for a swim, then don't go for a swim about the swim. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Go for a swim, and that's fine many times. You just picked up a salad or something. But then we pick up the dessert, which is talking about, you should not have picked up that salad. So definitely don't pick up that dessert.
Yes.
And that dessert is cooked using the ingredients of the spiritual knowledge of what we've heard in satsang. And that way spirituality then starts to oppress us as well.
The mind's so tricky, isn't it? Or not. At some point, maybe it's like, huh. And can even be sometimes still now, but other times, like, it's so tricky and just knows what to try somehow. But that's not all there is to experience. Yeah, so stop giving it so much attention. Value and thank you.
Okay, last. She seems to really want to come.
Thank you so much, Ananta-ji. Thank you to the Sangha. Everything has been spoken that can be spoken. Very, very clear here. Just incredibly grateful. I'm speaking to you and everyone from a room in my home that we call the prayer room, and a beautiful altar. And this is a room that's in a home that my husband had in his previous marriage when he had 2 stepchildren, part of that marriage, 2 boys with his own daughters. And the young man who lived in this room during that time left his body last Friday quite unexpectedly. And my husband's stepson, and I've only met him once, but I just felt to ask the Sangha and you for your blessings. I feel he is in a profound realm of joy, and I can sort of sense that he's helping his mother and his older brother, my husband as well, who stayed in their lives through this, but just in the presence of the Sangha, just asking for your blessings. And if I might just take a moment to share his image. Name is Tyler. And thank you for all of our healing prayers for those who are grieving him, and for the light that he was on this earth. So thank you for this opportunity. I know we're closing satsang. Thank you.
Confirm what your intuition is telling you about his state. Very good, very good.
Jai Gurudev. Thank you, Ananta-ji. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Full blessings, full love. We do something fun at the end of satsang. First Aniko. Turn this around. Let's see. This is what? This is the camel. View on the screen. Shall we sing for Hindi? Then maybe some English.
बार दिन ये आए,
बार बार दिल ये गाए,
बार बार दिन ये आए,
बार बार दिल ये गाए,
तुम जियो हजारों साल, ये मेरी है आरज़ू। Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to
Aniko,
happy birthday to you.
happy birthday to you,
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Aniko. Happy birthday to you.
who wants to sing without having a song in mind? With no song, just allow yourself to sing. Kneel. No? Do this. Do this. Ah. Heart song. Huh? Huh? Start singing. Keep singing it along. Anything. But don't go to any old groove. Fresh. Anything. Don't be scared. Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Krishna.
Hare Krishna, 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 Oh Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe Krishna, Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe Krishna, Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Radhe Krishna, Radhe Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Radhe Radhe Krishna, Oh Krishna, Radhe Radhe Krishna, Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe Krishna, Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Radhe Radhe, Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe Krishna, Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe Krishna, Radhe Radhe Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna,
Go, 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 go.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
Govinda, something. Govinda, go for it.
Govinda Hare Gopal Hare Govinda Hare Gopal Hare Jai Jai Prabhu Deen Dayal Hare Govinda Hare Gopal Hare Govinda Hare Gopal Hare Jai Jai Prabhu Deen Dayal Hare Prabhu Deen Dayal Sukh Ram Hare Atma Ram Hare Sukh Ram Hare Atma Ram Hare Jai Jai Prabhu Deen Dayal
Ram, Ram. Just start saying something.
Gopal Hare Gopal Ram Siya Ram Hare Jai Ram Hare Jai Ram Hare Ram Ram Siya Ram Hare Jai Ram Ram Siya Ram Hare Ram Hare Jai Ram Hare Jai Ram Hare Jai Ram Hare Ram Siya Ram Hare Jai Ram Ram Siya Ram Hare Hari Ram Hare Hari Ram Hare Hari Ram Hare Hari Ram Hare Jai Ram Hare Jai Ram Hare Jai Ram Hare
Sita.
Sita Hare Hare Ram Hare Sita Hare Hare Ram Hare
Everybody is into meditation. Hanuman, anything.
Jai Hanuman, Jai Jai Hanuman, Jai Hanuman, Jai Jai Hanuman, Hanuman, Jai Hanuman, Hanuman, Jai Hanuman, Jai Hanuman, Jai Jai Hanuman, Jai Hanuman, Jai Jai Hanuman, Hanuman, Jai Hanuman, Hanuman, Jai Hanuman, Hanuman, Jai Jai Hanuman, Hanuman, Jai Jai Hanuman, Hanuman, Jai Jai Hanuman, Hanuman, Jai Jai Hanuman, 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 Jai Jai Hanuman, 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 Jai Jai, Jai Jai Hanuman, Jai Jai Hanuman, Jai Jai Hanuman, Jai Jai Hanuman, 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 Jai Jai 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 Hanuman, 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 Jai Jai
Hanuman, 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 Jai Jai.
Jai
Jai Jai, Rudra Avatar, Jai Jai. Hanuman, 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 Jai Jai. Sitaram, 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 Jai Jai.
Shivaram, 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 Jai Jai.
Shivaram, 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 Jai Jai.
Shivaram, 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 Jai Jai.
Hanuman, 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 Jai Jai.
Hanuman, 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 Jai Jai.
Jai Balbira, 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 Jai Balbira. Hanuman, 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 Jai Jai. Jai Balbira, Jai Balbira, Jai Balbira, Jai Balbira. Hanuman, 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 Jai Jai. Hanuman, 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 Jai Jai.
Shiva. Come on. Who starts singing? Shiva, 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 Shiva.
Shiva Shiva, 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 Shambho, Shambho, Har Shambho, Har Har Mahadeva, Har Har Mahadeva, Har Har Mahadeva, Shambho, Har Har Mahadeva, Har Har Mahadeva, Har Har Mahadeva, Shambho, Shambho, Shiva, 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 Shambho, Shiva.
Shiva, 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 Hare Shiva, 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 Shambho, Har Har Shambho. Shambho Shiva, 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 Mahadev, Mahadev, Shiva, Mahadev, Mahadev, Shiva, Mahadev, Mahadev, Shiva,
Shiva Jai. Har Har Mahadev Mahadev Shiva Jai. Har Har Mahadev Mahadev Shiva Jai. Shambho Shiva, Shambho Shiva, Shambho Shiva. Mahadev Mahadev Shiva. Har Har Mahadev Mahadev Shiva. Amba. Jai Amba Jai Amba Ma. Jai Amba Jai Amba Ma. Mama Mama Jai Amba Jai Amba Jai Amba Jai Amba Jai Amba Jai Amba Amba Ma. Jai Jai Amba Ma, Jai Jai Amba Ma, Jai Jai Amba Ma, Jai Jai Amba Ma, Amba Ma, Amba Ma. Jai Jai Amba Ma, Jai Jai Amba Ma, Jai Jai Amba Ma, Jai Jai Amba Ma. Jai Jai Amba Ma, Jai Jai Amba Ma, Jai Jai Amba Ma, Jai Jai Amba Ma. Amba Ma, Amba Ma, Amba Ma, Amba Ma. Jai Jai Amba Ma, 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 Jai Jai Amba Ma. Amba Ma, Amba Ma. Kepala Durga, Durga, sing. Durga, 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 Jai Jai Ma. Durga Ma, 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 Mama Ma, Durga Ma, Mama Ma, Durga Ma, Durga, 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 Jai Jai Ma. Durga, 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 Jai Jai Ma. Durga Ma, Durga Ma, Durga Ma, Durga Ma. Kali. Kali Kali hey, Kali 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 hey. Jai Mata Kali, 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 Kali 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 hey, 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 Kali 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 hey. Jai Mata Kali, 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 Jai Mata Kali. Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. Om Mahadeva Shambho 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 Shiva Deva Shambho Shiva Deva Shiva Shiva Hara Hara Shiva Shiva Hara Hara Shambho Mahadeva Shambho Mahadeva Hara 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 Shambho Mahadeva Shambho Mahadeva Shambho Shiva Deva Shambho Shiva Deva Shambho Mahadeva Shambho Mahadeva He Mahadeva He Mahadeva He Shiva Deva He Shiva Deva Shambho 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 Mahadeva Shambho Mahadeva He Shiva Mahadeva He Shiva Mahadeva Shambho 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 Shiva Mahadeva Shiva Mahadeva Shambho 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 Shiva 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 Om Mahadeva Shambho Mahadeva Om Mahadeva Shambho
Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Baba ki
Jai. Sadhguru Sri Ananta ki Jai.
Guru Kripa ke